And out of nowhere, she had walked right past me, and I was like, wait. I was like, wait, isn't that Willow Smith? And she's like, I don't think so. Like, what would she be doing here? I don't think so. I'm like, no, that's Willow Smith. I recognize those green eyes. Like, that's her. And then my friend was like, I don't know, go ask her. I said, yeah, wait, hold on. I went over there and I went up to Willow Smith. And I said, hey, excuse me? I just wanted to tell you that you are so much more beautiful in person. And
How did she take that?
And she looked at me and she was like, oh my God, really? Is that supposed to make me feel good? And she like rolled her eyes and like she like sipped her cup and was like vibing to the music and she turned away from me.
What?
Just vibing.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Aridja Kals Show, where we speak to ordinary people with extraordinary lives. Guys, I'm so excited for today, right? We're going to get straight into the nitty gritty. We're not going to waste no time because we've got a guest that's hailing all the way from Los Angeles in America, literally California. My next guest, as you can see, is ultra successful YouTuber, podcaster who isn't afraid to speak his mind and voice his controversial opinions regarding trending topics and his own personal life. Now, like I said, he's all the way from LA in the USA, and I just want you to please welcome the one and only Destin Troyce.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin Troyce.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you for having me, first of all.
No worries. Yes. And just to let you know, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Aridja, your host. So yeah. Anyway, Destin, it's so lovely to have you. You look proper sharp, like just amazing.
Thank you. Like, honestly, I'm big on like presentation because you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna come across. So yeah, always try to look my best everywhere I go. And you look amazing as well.
Oh, thank
you. Nice Puma fit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And he smells good as well. I just have to add that in. But anyway, Destin, it's so lovely to have you here. Like I said, do you feel like I gave you a good intro? You're someone who has controversial opinions, perspectives, and you're not afraid to just say what's on your mind.
Yeah, it was pretty straight to the point, pretty much what it is. Controversial, commentators, say what it is, how it is. And yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
I nailed it.
Really
good.
Nailed it and more.
And are you going to be speaking your mind today?
Yes.
You're not holding back?
No, never holding back, ever.
I love that.
Ever.
I love that. Destin, you've got, correct me if I'm wrong, but to collaborate it all together, you've got over 700k subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
That's massive.
Yeah.
You've got 2 silver play buttons.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, it feels good because I kind of built a whole platform off of being myself and not giving a fuck what people thought. So honestly, a lot of it came with hard work, but a lot of it just came with just me being myself. So it feels good to be able to say that I don't put on a front. I'm not being something I'm not, because being fake is just exhausting. And I do feel like a lot of influencers and entrepreneurs sometimes miss that. When they want to build a brand on the internet, they think they have to be this polished, like, hey guys, welcome to Disney Channel. And then it's like, people can't connect with that. No one's ever going to buy your products. People aren't going to show up to your events. People aren't going to support your brands. People aren't going to support none of that because people feel like they're talking to a robot. That's why it's so easy to cancel you and get rid of you. That's why a lot of them always have like these crazy controversial, my language.
Do you feel like, sorry to cut you there, but it's just interesting. Do you feel like someone like you who is quite controversial, it's harder to cancel you compared to someone who is that Disney polished,
Yes. 100%. I think a lot of people who have like that whole Disney polished look, a lot of it is fake. A lot of it is, publicists, managers, or hey, you're working with us at ABC, you're working with us at Disney Channel. If you say this, that, or third, we're gonna cut you off. Don't talk about this. So sometimes they forget to wear a mask. With me, I don't really wear a mask because I'm not really worried about like sponsorships with Disney. Not saying I'm passing them up. Disney, if you're watching this and you want to, sponsor me, hit me up.
Yeah.
Hit her up too. But, people who put on an act, it's easy to just cancel when it's fake. Because I think Maya Angelou said this: nothing real can be threatened. You can't just take away like what can you throw in my face? Like, family issues, personal issues, the way I look, the way I talk.
Yeah, you've spoken about it all, so you can't. They can't.
It's like, I don't really have nothing to hide. I have my private life, but there's a difference between privacy and secrecy. I'm not putting on an act. Your favorite. Yeah, because our favorite influencers will sometimes put on an act, and that's why they're always getting canceled, because you're not who you are. And that's why people are quick to go on Twitter and say, aha, see, I'm glad they're getting canceled. And it's always because they're doing something and then eventually want to apologize, and it's always a fake apology.
It's always fake.
so
Fake
that-
tears.
So yeah, so rule number one: be yourself, be who you are, and people will accept you for you.
I love that. I love that, Destin.
Yeah.
And you said along the lines of family issues. That's what you just mentioned just
Yes.
previously.
Talk about it all.
Let's talk about that. Let's dive and dissect all of this, Destin. Let's talk about your childhood, right? Your upbringing. How was it like growing up as Destin?
Okay, so I grew up in a very strict Caribbean household. Both my parents are Haitian. My father was very in and out. He also kind of had a drinking problem, and he did not like my mother. He mostly just stayed there for the kids. My father was very pretentious, and I think he was just obsessed with what everyone thought of him. So he thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay for the kids. But he was horrible. You know, he was very abusive. He was narcissistic. He had a drinking problem. I have horrible memories of, let's see, in the Haitian culture, we have this thing called, it's pronounced ajanu,
Okay.
which basically means timeout.
Okay.
And what they do is, I don't know if they do this in your culture, where they make you get on your knees and like sit there like on the concrete. And we would do that for like hours. And there'd be times where like my dad would do crazy things, like where he'll randomly just do it for no reason. Like if he was in a bad mood. Like I remember one time, me and my brother, we think we caught our dad cheating one time. We told our mom that, oh, he gave this random lady some ride. And our mom like confronted our dad about it. And our dad made us come downstairs and he made us go and time out right in front of our mom. And then he would do other little things and be like, whatever I do is none of your fucking business. And he would like put his finger in my face like this. My dad would literally put his finger in my eye and be like, I could do whatever I want with you. I could literally blind you if I fucking want to. I think it was crazy.
Yeah. That sounds very toxic.
Yeah.
Very, very, very toxic. And how did your mother react to this? Was she helpful or?
Sometimes, honestly, most of the time she would just ignore it. Like she was scared to say something because I think my mom couldn't live on her own because my mom was a little bit irresponsible. So a lot of times it's like a cycle of why a lot of women stay in abusive relationships. The man pays for a lot of things and the man provides a lot of stability. And I don't think she could survive on her own income. So she felt like she kind of had to tolerate certain things. Like if me and my brother would be like, Mom, can we like play the PlayStation on the TV? My mom would be like, oh yeah, sure, baby, go ahead. As soon as we come downstairs, my dad would see us plugging the video game in. And he'll be like, I don't want you guys plugging that in the TV. And we'll be like, oh, but mom said we can. He'd be like, I don't care what your mom said. My mom would just be in the kitchen like this. She would hear everything, just like she'll like be playing with plates and stuff, acting like she's not. Like,
now that you're a lot older and you can see it through a bird's eye view, a third person's perspective, do you feel somewhat sympathy for your mother? Or
yeah, I definitely feel sympathy for my mother. I definitely do. My mother definitely endured a lot. She definitely made a lot of sacrifices. My mom was not innocent because she probably could have walked away. But then as I get older, I realized, okay, that's why a lot of women stay. Stability. Because there was a point in time where when she finally did stand up, my dad punished her by purposely not being around for us. I remember there being arguments in the other room of my dad saying, if I'm in this house, I'll take care of the kids. But if I'm not in this house, I ain't taking care of these kids. Literally saying that to my mother. So mom was just like, she'll like put like a happy smile, happy face all the time in front of people. There'd be times where, you know, me and my brother would be like, I'm not going to wish my birthday. I'm not going to wish dad a Merry Christmas. My mom would be like, no, get in here and wish your dad a Happy Christmas. Get in here,
by
get in
force, because obviously she was scared herself. She was frightened. So
she walked into the room one time and she snatched me by my shirt and she was like, get in here, wish your dad a Happy Christmas. Like she would do stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously the dynamic between you and your parents was obviously very toxic. Physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, neglect. If I do say so myself, as to what I've heard so far, if you don't mind me saying.
100%.
But how about you and your siblings then? So you've spoken about the one brother.
Yes.
How about you and the dynamic between you and your siblings? How was that like growing up?
So I have 3 other siblings. I'm the youngest out of all my siblings. I was the last born, and my mom had 3 baby fathers. She has 4 kids, 3 baby fathers. So her first baby father was this guy in her home country in Haiti. And she had my eldest brother who's like in his 40s. I want to say when she was like 19, maybe 20, maybe 19. And then after that, she met her other baby father, who is the father of my eldest sister, when she was about like 22, and he was like a drug dealer. That's an interesting story within itself.
Yeah.
And then she had me and my brother when she came to America. When she came to Florida, she had me and my brother. and that's her third baby father. So me and my brother are the only ones that share a father out of all her kids. My two eldest siblings, so my two eldest siblings, they have different fathers. So the dynamic between me and my siblings is I have an older brother in his 40s, and I don't talk to him. If I saw him on the streets right now, I probably wouldn't even recognize him. I mean, I've seen pictures of him like on my mom's refrigerator in my mom's like little book or whatever. But if I saw him today and he walked right past me, I wouldn't even like know who he is.
How does that make you feel?
It doesn't feel like anything because you can't really miss what you never had. So for me, I'm just like, it'd be cool if I know who he was, but don't really care. He never checked for me, so why the fuck am I checking for you?
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing personal.
Destin, can I just say, obviously I've said to you prior to us pressing record and stuff, but it's like you've gone through so much, and anyone would think that you would feel, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably felt emotions regarding, distancing yourself from your family and stuff like that. You probably felt a lot of negative emotions, sadness and hurt. But now you're at a place, and it's weird because it's bittersweet, because I'm happy for you because you're at a place where you're standing firm, you're standing as an individual. Of course, maybe you've got some contact with some family members, but majority of them you've cut off. You told me that you changed your number, and
life hack.
Yeah, life hack, changing your number. So it's great, and it's like I said to you, it's like. You haven't just done this for yourself. You've done this for a lot of people, whether in the black community, the white community, whatever community that you're from. But you've done it. You've helped them because they're seeing you and they're seeing it like, wow, he's openly talking about the toxic relationships that he's had with family, and he's been brave enough to cut them off. That's only something that some people only wish that they can do. But because of, because of family, I don't know, like because of what they think they should do, they're stuck in that toxic environment. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So
some people feel like, I think some people kind of get to a point where a lot of people allow themselves to dwell on it. Like a lot of people have been victimized and they kind of stay in that state of victimhood. Like, oh my God, like why is my life like this? I hate this. And then they allow that to kind of stir them to the wrong path. So they go towards finding love in the wrong places. They go towards, joining gangs or like fighting or acting out and lashing out and then being like, well, when I was younger, I went through this and this, that, and the third. But I feel like it comes to a point where you kind of have to wake up and be an adult and take responsibility for what you can do now.
100%. I love that.
Instead of like
take responsibility.
That's all it's
about.
about.
And you were telling me over the phone on our phone call, you said something about how you're taking accountability for generational curses.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What do you mean by that?
So most of us have generational curses, rather it be things such as, I don't know, self-hate, skin lightening, fighting, drug addiction, alcoholism, sex addiction, abandonment issues. Let's see, undiagnosed mental illness such as like borderline personality, undiagnosed bipolar disorder, and then just thinking that you're just normal and this is just the way I am. People think that it's just at some point you kind of have to look around and realize, why is everyone in the family like getting a ton of money and then losing it and going into debt? Why is everybody in the family constantly being divorced? Why is everybody in the family constantly suffering from abandonment issues and balling up their emotions and playing fake at the family gatherings? Something's wrong. But a lot of times people don't want to feel like something is wrong because they don't want to feel like they're so inadequate.
Yeah, they want to fit in.
They want to be like, no, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. People think that, oh, well, it's a sign of weakness to show that you're bothered. Well, no, it's not a sign of weakness to show you're bothered. It's a sign of strength to admit that something is wrong and that there needs to be a change, because awareness is key.
I 100% agree.
So,
it all starts off with awareness.
Yeah, and that's how you break generational curses. So I've been able to like honestly wake up, and maybe a lot of y'all out there can wake up and realize that there's a problem in your family dynamic, or maybe some of the behavioral patterns you have, where you kind of just got to look in the mirror and just realize that you just don't want to be a victim. You don't want to allow something that's so common in your family to affect you. Because do you want to end up like a lot of your older aunts or older grandmothers or like the older generation? If not, then you got to make a change.
And what does that change look like? Obviously, awareness, acceptance. Does it mean voicing their opinions out on social media? Does it mean changing their phone number? what does that change? So if someone is in a pit where, because I can personally relate to this a bit, because that's what I'm going through now. Like, it's hard for me to talk about it, but I spoke to you prior. It's just a thing where growing up for me, it's like I wasn't always so much cared for and shown much affection from mainly like the males in my family, for example, like, you know, brothers and father and stuff like that. And so that drove me to becoming a person where I was seeking that validation and seeking that love from men outside, like even sometimes men that I wasn't really like attracted to or things of that nature. And it's like only when now I've come to a realization, I'm not gonna lie, my boyfriend has actually helped me to realize that this was the root cause of why I lashed out or behaved the way that I did with other guys outside of the home. And so I've just come to that I think it starts off with awareness, because once you're aware, there's peace. Like, you're just free, you're liberated. Like, that chain that has held you on for so long has liberated you when you're aware. And it's not that these people may have done it intentionally or to hurt you intentionally, or maybe they did, but just coming to that awareness and then from then, what's the next step to make that change is what I'm asking you. So after the awareness, after the realization, what can we then do? What then should we do?
I think the only thing is, after the awareness, you got to kind of start doing the work, because you'd be surprised how many people walk around being like, oh yeah, I'm toxic, I don't care. It's like, how do people just walk around thinking that shit is cute? Like, I know a lot of guys that be like, oh yeah, in relationships, I'm toxic, I don't care. Like, what do you mean you don't care? Like, you know, you should care, because when you're toxic, don't nobody want to fucking be around you. You know, you're going to constantly be losing people, so you got to do the work. Like, yeah, you're aware that you're toxic. You're aware that you're overbearing. You're aware that you're controlling. You're aware that you're mean and nasty. So, do you want to make a change? Do you want to be are you happy this way? And usually it's no, I'm not happy this way. Okay, so do the work. Doing the work usually means maybe going to therapy. You know, a lot of us can use some therapy. You know, I've gone to therapy before. And it doesn't even have to be extensive therapy. It could be like, maybe get a mental health evaluation, maybe get a diagnosis, talk to a professional who can tell you like, okay, what you're doing is actually called ADHD, or it's avoidant disorder, or it's, you know, abandonment issues.
Is that a thing? Avoidance disorder?
Yeah, avoidance.
I think I'm in that category then.
Yeah, avoidance, like always, or like sometimes it could be pushing people away. Sometimes it has to be like trying to like push away and bury away conflict and acting like it doesn't bother you, but you just hold it in and like keep your peace to like make everyone around you happy, which can stem from
that sounds like me.
Yep. And sometimes a medical professional can tell you that and call you out on your shit. And it's like awkward because you think, oh, well, that's just how I am. And it's like, no, that's just what you've normalized. Like,
what you've accepted.
Yeah, what you've accepted, but you deep down inside aren't really happy with that. So...
And then that could also trickle in and affect other things in your life. Whereas, like, for example, a relationship, you know, and things of that nature. And there's no way I'm letting my past affect my present or my future. Yeah. So thank you for this, Destin, because it's really made me think I need to do something about it. And I am in the process of doing something about it, such as therapy. I'm looking into that as well. But yeah, it's really deep. It really is. And obviously, so you're in your healing. Well, are you in your healing process? Yeah. Or are you like pretty stable in yourself now?
I'm stable mentally, but healing usually never stops. You're still like having to, you know, remember your childhood, remember certain things, remember why you do certain things, remember why you won't stop going, after things. And healing never stops because it's like a journey. Like, you finally break free from the shackles and you're just like, let's see what else life has in store.
Yeah.
So healing is just keep going and going and going and tapping into your inner child and, you know, figuring out what you liked when you were a child, or where did this people-pleasing behavior, you know, start?
Stem from.
You know, it started when I was a child and I felt like nothing was ever good enough. So I'm constantly trying to overcompensate and over-accommodate everybody, even though I shouldn't be doing all this. I should just be doing enough because most people don't appreciate shit anyways.
Yeah. I feel like with that, it's like me and you can understand that. Yeah. The whole how our childhood can definitely affect us now. But I feel like talking to certain people, like especially like traditional people, they might not understand that. They might just think like brush it under the carpet. Like let's say just parents' generation, let's say for example, brush it under the carpet. Like that's not the reason why you're like this. You're just making excuses. You're being silly. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's important to talk to people like yourself or even like a professional that deals with this and stuff. But yeah, that's just something that just came up in my head because it makes
you reflect a lot.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like, who are you talking to about this, and do they really understand? You know, but yeah. So
do the work.
Do the work, definitely.
If it's not therapy, then just, I like to call it in layman's term, just travel back in time and figure out where all these patterns started, and then just figure out why do you keep holding on to it. And then, a lot of times if you think about it, when you talk to a therapist, sometimes you're paying them to make you talk to yourself. Deep down inside, you're like, if you watch any movie or TV show, most people already know the root cause of their issue. Because these therapists don't fucking know you. They don't know your life. They're just asking you questions that you already know the answer to.
To do a self-evaluation.
Yes. And then you don't realize that you've buried it deep into your subconscious mind or inside your heart. And you're just like letting it out, but you've never given yourself an opportunity to talk about it yet. So that's usually what it is. If you're not going to go to therapy, you don't want to spend any extra money, then just start asking yourself, like, why do I do this? If you have no one to talk to, just start asking yourself. Because you can vent to yourself because you know it's not going to go around. No one's going to go spread it around or throw it in your face after.
Or journal. Write it down.
Yes,
journal. If that helps. Yeah.
And that's part of doing the work.
Yeah. So the person that you are now, you're someone who, like I said, you're unapologetic with your approach, with your perspectives and opinions. You're you seem very strong in yourself, like a strong individual in terms of like, not a lot of things can move you anymore. Like, because I'm sure with, your YouTube channel where you're talking a lot on celebrity issues or other YouTubers and things of that nature, I'm sure you get a lot of people counteracting you and trolls and people that are like, how dare you say that or this, that, and even digging at you personally. How do you navigate all of that? Like, how do you keep your head above water to say, that's not going to bother me and that's not going to bother me? I'm still going to be doing what I do.
I would say a wise person once told me, if they don't know you personally, don't take it personal.
Oh, wait, say again?
If they don't know you personally, then don't take it personal.
I love that.
Because, you don't know me. I've heard, because you only know what I give you when I show you. If you were to even be transparent about your issues and you talk about something controversial that may upset or annoy somebody because you don't think the way they think, they'll probably throw some shit in your face that you opened up about on the internet. Like, I've had some shit where, like, I've made comments about, like, Nicki Minaj or some shit. And someone's just like, oh, you're just a fucking fatherless and motherless child. And I'm like, bitch, my mom was in my life. And you're talking about my dynamic with them. I don't take it personal. I'm like, whatever. You're just going based off of what I told you and what you perceive. And you're only just trying to take a jab at me. Because I talked about your favorite pop star who doesn't even know you exist.
Exactly.
And then, I'll talk about something random. Like, I don't fucking know. I'll talk about an issue, like, socially. Like, I'll talk about something involving, like, politics. And
or BLM or...
Yeah. And if someone, like, doesn't like it and it feels like I'm being dramatic, they're just like, wow, like, I used to really like you, but, like, now you're just like your sister.
How can they say that?
Bitch, you don't even know her.
You don't even know your sister. That's hilarious.
They know, like, what I've given.
I'm glad that you laugh it off because it is quite silly.
It is. And that's why I was just like, for all you know, I could have just made that shit up.
Exactly.
And, like, it would have been funnier. But regardless, like, even though, like, I have talked about family being, like, assholes and not the best people, it's just like, really? Like, it's just, it's pathetic, but just take it as okay, whatever. You don't know me personally. You're only going based off of what I perceive it. And then also what also helped is I got some pretty good advice from the rapper Logic.
Oh, I know Logic.
Logic.
Is he mixed
Yeah,
race,
the biracial guy.
He looks very...
He made that
like,
1-800 song. I don't want to be alive today. Something like that.
Yeah. I love that song.
Everybody, yes. And
you got advice from him?
Yes. One of my friends interviewed him for a podcast.
Okay.
And he said in the podcast behind the scenes, he was like, once you put something out there, it's no longer yours.
What does he mean by that?
He was talking about music, anything in the entertainment industry, but I kind of perceived it and related to me, even though I don't do music. And I perceived it as, when you share something with the world, it's not really yours anymore. And people can pick it apart, chop it up, interpret it whatever they want, and it belongs to them.
It's true.
if you were to like put this podcast out there, like it kind of relates to what Logic said to like me and that friend that interviewed him. If you share it, someone can screen record it, someone can chop it up, someone can
And
give their
edit
critique.
it however they want it
Someone
to be.
in the next 5 years who's a hater of yours or doesn't like you can literally react to this in the next 5 or 10 years and pick apart the way you look, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you act, or the way your style is. And guess what? You don't have a choice but to respect it, because once you share it, it's not yours anymore.
It's not yours anymore.
So who cares if they have something mean to say or like pick you apart or say things that aren't very nice?
It takes you need to be strong-minded. You need to have a thick skin. I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly but surely, but hopefully I will. I was going to ask you, Destin, have you had any, obviously trolls from people that you don't know, but how about celebrities that you've spoken about or YouTubers that you've spoken about? Have they ever confronted you up on what you said about them before?
Never been confronted by an influencer before. I have come across influencers I've made content about before, and they've always just been polite and be like, well, I understand, just for entertainment. Nice to meet you. And it's been short and sweet. I will say I did have a moment on the internet where this was years ago. So this is going to be an interesting story.
Go ahead.
The rapper and YouTuber DDG, who we all know as Halle Bailey's baby father and partner. He was not fond of a video I made of him like 6 years ago, to the point where he threatened to get his lawyers on me, and he called me all types of like little boys, and he said if he ever seen me, he literally said this in a live stream. I wish I could find it. He said if I ever see him, that's literally what he said on live stream. And he was mad because I made a video commentary about some drama that he was in. Now, usually when people make commentary about him or other influencers, they're usually very biased, towards one side. And I was very much like, I think he's a narcissist. I think he's very self-absorbed. I think he has a nasty ego, and I think he's extra and dramatic. And he took it as, I'm a hater. So he started like literally commenting under my video, saying, if I ever see you, I'm gonna spar you. You better keep that same energy if I ever see you. This was like 7 years ago too. If I ever see you, better keep that same energy. And I think I started the screenshots too. And then he commented under my video. He made a response video, but he wasn't responding to me. He was responding to all the other drama channels and the person who caused the drama about him. So that's how you know this was a big like scandal he was in.
Yeah, massive.
So he was like saying, let me address the drama between this person that I have. First of all, the rumors aren't true. This person's this. Now, onto the commentary and drama channels. Now, there's this one drama channel. I ain't gonna say his name because I'm not gonna give him the clout.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got lawyers.
They always say that.
That's what he said. He was like, I got lawyers. This person probably can't even afford a lawyer, but it's okay. But this little boy made a video about me. Talking about my scandals and my relationship or whatever, made a whole breakdown, getting all these views. Like, look at you. Like, you literally been on YouTube for like 3 years and you only got 200,000 subscribers. That shouldn't be an accomplishment for you. He literally said this.
That's a bit ignorant.
Yeah, he was like, that shouldn't be an accomplishment for you. You have 200,000 subscribers and you've only been on YouTube you've been on YouTube for 3 years. You should have way more than that. So, you always like are using other influencers for clickbait. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't realize that what you're doing is problematic. All you need is 3 strikes on YouTube and then you're done. That's all you need. All you need is 3 strikes. But it's okay. I got lawyers and we finna handle that and we finna, get that out the way. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. And then his fans were in the comment section saying, they were like, by the way, it's Troyce TV he's talking about. DDG squad attack.
Did you get attacked?
Yes. They dragged me in the comment section for like 2 days.
Wow.
And I got a little bit paranoid, so I was like, let me make a second channel just in case.
Oh, okay.
And that's when my second channel came about. And I was like, make a second channel just in case.
Is that why?
Yeah. I always had that channel, but I started posting content on it.
That channel.
And I was like, you know what, let me just, okay. Then I posted a community tab being like, okay, y'all subscribe to my second channel. And then people were in the comments section say, oh, you just mad because of DDG. You only do this because of DDG. Yeah. But I was ignoring it. Yeah. But low-key it was, because I'm just like, I'm still like 3 years into YouTube. I don't know if he's going to try to pull some strings or play the system. Unfortunately for DDG, he failed. That was a failure on your part. You did not get what you wanted. He went to get my channel taken down, but that didn't work. He reached out to his team, and the video that I made, it got age restricted out of nowhere.
Really?
And you guys know age restriction is much more deeper than a lot of y'all think. Y'all think, oh, it's just kids can't watch it. No. Age restriction is bad on YouTube because when they age restrict your video, it won't get promoted on certain sections of YouTube. So yes, kids won't watch it, but then it won't be promoted on other sections, like people who are watching, I don't know, a cooking video, they won't see it in recommendations. People who are watching a video involving
just for that video, or your entire channel is affected?
Just that video.
Okay.
Sometimes your entire channel can get affected. Sometimes they can restrict your whole channel. But that's usually rare, like very rare. But he was so like when your video's age restricted, you not only barely make any fucking money off of it, but it gets to a degree where YouTube won't push your video and only your subscribers will see it. And if you post content, you want everyone to see it.
100%.
So he got that video age restricted, but here's some good news. So before I get to the good news, he randomly commented, this is how I know it was him. Once the video got age restricted, literally within that hour, he commented under that video I made, and he literally commented, haha, age restricted. Keep it up, little boy.
That's a bit immature.
That's literally what he commented. And I was like, oh, so it was you. Okay.
So yeah, you put two and two together.
Yeah, because he noticed it, and then I saw his comment on my channel. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even respond. And guys, mind you, I've never responded to DDG. I never replied to him back, never messaged him, never even made a video responding to the little back. Never even did. Because, like, you know, my mantra is this: what would Beyonce do?
I love that.
She's
what
one of the most
Beyonce
successful people in the world.
Of course.
And I always look at the stuff that she does. Like, how has Beyonce been able to be around so long? So I'll tell myself, what would Beyonce do?
What would Beyonce do?
What would she do? She wouldn't do anything.
Exactly.
So I didn't respond. And I was like, okay, I'll handle it behind the scenes. I reached out to YouTube. I sent a retractment, said, hey, this doesn't deserve to be age restricted. This is literally just commentary. The person that said that this deserves to be age restricted, they're trying to play the system. So can y'all fix this for me? They fixed it. Okay. And they removed the age restriction literally 2 hours later.
Okay.
And then I randomly was like, aha, see? All I had to do was just stay calm and not even respond.
Exactly.
And that was the end of that.
I love that.
Yeah. But the threats that he made are still out there. There's still like a little Instagram live of him saying that he was going to slap me. I mean, I'm always prepared.
You are. I love that.
I'm always prepared. Because you said, have I ever been like approached by YouTubers? That hasn't happened yet. And people always say, what's going to happen when that celebrity approaches you? What are you going to do? I'm not just some YouTuber on the internet. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So if somebody ever tries to do anything with me, I'll just say, I hope you're ready for the hurricane that's going to come if you ever try it.
Ooh. Okay,
that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. What was I going to say? So for people who are watching, what is your advice to them? Because obviously you are a successful YouTuber in my eyes, and you are in general. You're very successful. What advice would you give to them regarding, I don't know, maybe consistency, what they need to do, how they need to approach YouTube in order for them to be just as successful as you and get those silver play buttons?
I would say you have to be incredibly consistent because majority of the job is literally just showing up. You have to literally, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. People sometimes forget and neglect that, you know, people think that they'll get instant likes and instant views and instant engagement. That's not how that works. If you're only doing half-ass work, you're more than likely to get half-ass return. You know, not everybody can be, you know, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Tana Mojo, and go viral within their 5th upload. You have to show up. You have to put in effort. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the work, don't be surprised if 5 years from now, your channel or brand doesn't really go anywhere. So I know it's very cliche because everybody says that, be consistent. But that is so important because I posted every single week for like 4 years. Non-stop.
Once a week?
Once a week, at least.
At least.
I was consistently doing at least 2 to 3 times a week, but it was at least once a week for 4 years. Never took a break until 4 years. And I've been doing this for like 8 years.
When did you see the breakthrough with YouTube where your subscribers just skyrocketed?
I want to say it took 2 years for things to take off. So I started in 2015, and it was in 2017 when things started to pick up a little bit. So I did it for free for 2 years straight. Most people, when they don't see results after 8 months, they just be like, okay, fine, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Little did they know, if you would have got to that 12th month, your channel could have went viral.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly that.
People are impatient. They're like, oh, whatever, I'm not doing this. 2 years of consistently posting for free. Like, okay, what works? Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, what kind of content do they like? Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, let me switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's where I am, Destin, the whole switching things up. And like I'm thinking of switching things up because I feel like this podcast has been growing really slowly. It's only been here for like just over a year, but I feel like I don't know, I need to pivot and change things. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But yes, let's move on to the special question segment where the audience get to ask you a question. Now, these questions are normally quite personal, quite hard hitting. And yeah, so I'm going to read it out to you. If you want to answer it, great. If not, then just say pass. Is that clear?
Okay.
All right, cool. If you could change one thing in your life, what would you change and why?
I would probably change maybe it would be the people that I've tried to maybe I would say it was definitely like not trying to find more friends and connections sooner. I think I became like so settled in like, okay, whatever. Like these are just the friends that I have. Let me just like live with it and deal with it. And a lot of them weren't real genuine friends. Like there were a lot of people where I'm just like, it's fine, whatever. Like these are the only friends that I can get. And I didn't realize how much life I had ahead of me. Like what, like 6-7 years ago. I was like, whatever. Like I'm doing pretty well now, and it's gonna be hard to make friends because everyone would just probably see me as a number, whatever. But then I woke up one day, long story short, and I realized, wait. I'm the CEO of my life. Anything that I allow will continue. Why do I have to keep entertaining meaningless friendships? All I have to do is literally just not respond anymore, and then the friendship dies. That's like the case for a lot of us. The friendship will die if you just don't put effort.
And that just shows it wasn't true friendship to begin with. If
It
they're
wasn't.
going to let it die as well, just as, quickly.
Yeah. Or when you stand up to yourself towards, long story short, backhanded compliments that are disguised as jokes. You ever had those friends?
Yeah, definitely.
That like, you tell them something great, or they'd be like, they'll give you a backhanded compliment, and then they like giggle and they won't make eye contact. It's always jealousy.
It's always jealousy. And let's talk about this, Destin. So do you believe in manifestation?
100%.
So law of attraction, law of
Yes.
assumption, things of that nature. So for those who don't know, law of attraction is a universal law that states that whatever you think and feel is what you get back. So whatever frequency that you're on, if you're on a high frequency, high vibes, then you get a good life. Whereas if you're on a low vibe and, just negative, then that's what you'll get. It's not rocket science. It's just simple, isn't it? So tell me what your thoughts are on manifestation and law of attraction and things of that nature.
I would say everything that I have is based off of like manifestation. It's like, I guess I could say it's like 70% work, and then the 30% is like manifestation and law of attraction. So let me tell you guys an interesting story real quick, and maybe this can resonate and teach you guys something. I manifest a lot of my success because when I was younger, I used to always tell myself, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to be popular, I'm going to be known, I just know I'm going to be big. And people around me would be like, whatever, like come on now, like you need connections. Like why you? Like what's so special about you? Relatives told me this. Like I remember when I told my cousin, who I had to cut off, once she saw the success, she started acting really weird, fake love, acting kind of, that's a long story. But long story short, I had a cousin, even my own mother was just like, you need connections. How are you going to do that? Like not everybody could just do that. And I said, okay, I'm going to figure it out. So what I did was I used to do this thing when I was about 13, 14 years old, where I used to like literally write fake autographs for people. Like I'll go to my friends when I was in school, like secondary school, and be like, oh my God, like, hey, here's my autograph. You want my autograph? Like I used to literally sign pieces of paper. Like I remember this
that
vividly. Like I would write my autograph because I was preparing myself to be famous, because I was like, okay, this is what stars do. Stars write autographs. So I was doing that consistently. Like there were some people who were like laughing, like, oh, okay, sure. And there were some people that were just like, no. Like I was weird or some shit. But I did that intentionally because I was like, okay, let me prepare myself because it'll come. And then I did this other thing where I had a lot of social anxiety for probably most of my life. So what I did was I used to always think people were staring at me. You could say that it's mixed with a little bit of being self-absorbed, being sensitive with energy, but I just always felt like people were staring at me. So what I did was I always started dressing really, really nice and differently. So I always had like a creative hat, a really nice jacket. Like people would even tell you that grew up with me. Like I always had on something different. something stylish. You know, people always complimenting me for something. And I told myself that's what stars do. Stars have to stand out like
I
a sore
love
thumb.
that.
They have to look presentable everywhere they go.
Every day.
Because stars, whether it's a Z-list, B-list, C-list celebrity, they always look like
They look
stand
good.
out.
They stand out.
Even if they don't
Always.
look the best, they always stand out. Like, okay, I just know that girl is somebody.
Yeah, you can just know and you can just tell.
So that was kind of my thing, is I just always dressed differently, and I used to sign autographs. And then eventually, 2 years later, I was just like, wait, I'm not getting any younger. I'm like 15 saying this stuff. I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. Oh my God, I'm getting so old. At 15 saying this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I thought by now I would have already been like, you know, like That's So Raven or something like that. I thought I would have been like the kids on like Nickelodeon, like what's going on, like how my mom doesn't have money to put me in acting classes, because I've been asking my mother to put me in acting classes since I was like 9, but she didn't really have the money and she never really followed through anytime she said she would. So I'm like, okay, so how am I gonna like be an entertainer and have like my own show, and how am I gonna do it? And then I just woke up one day and said, well, funny story. When I was like in my freshman year of high school, I came across this boy named Chad. He was like an Indian Jamaican. He was telling everyone at our table, oh my God, guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe. Like, I heard YouTubers like are getting paid and stuff, you know, when they get big. And I was like, YouTubers get paid? What? And I'm like 15 years old. I'm like, they do? I'm like, interesting. You know, I was already on Vine, like randomly doing Vine.
Okay.
And I was already thinking about making a YouTube channel. But then when I heard money was involved, I was like, shit, why not? So I immediately, like, a light bulb came and I was like, wait, what if this is like my shot? What if like I do this and then I can like build like a brand off of it, and then like all these people like discover me or whatever.
Love that.
Let me just try this shit. I started posting YouTube videos. Didn't really go anywhere at first. Like my first 6 months, I was getting like 20 views, 13 views, 9 views, 7 views. And it affected me a lot.
Were you doing the same topic that you do now?
No. Well,
what were you doing?
I was talking about random stuff. I was talking about like random like advice videos. Like I was like, how to build confidence, how to speak up for yourself. Like random videos like that. If you scroll back like 10 years ago, how to speak up for yourself. Well, let's see. Or I would do like quick little 2-minute reaction videos to like viral videos, viral vines. And I was just like, okay, this isn't working. Like I'm only getting 20 views. And then eventually what kind of clicked was I realized, wait, all these people that are watching me, they're a support system. Eventually it'll grow. Eventually the numbers will come in. Let me just not look at the views and just pay more attention to the craft. So I just focus. And I just told myself, it's going to come. It's going to come. One day it'll come.
I love that.
One day it'll happen. One day it'll happen. I know one day those 20 views will say 20,000. I know one day those 200 views will say 200,000. I know it'll come. I know one day my total channel views will say 1 billion. It's okay. All that will come and it'll happen. Let me just focus on the people that have showed up instead of people that haven't showed up yet.
Yeah. And that's the law of attraction. It's focusing on what you do want rather than what you don't want. You know, and it's giving your energy to the positives rather than the negatives. And that's why you got that back in abundance now. Do you know what I mean?
I got more than I expected.
You did. And I looked at your subscribers. I was like, wow, like that's big.
I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky. It's just like, whoa. Like, honestly, I would have just been okay with 100,000 followers and then that's it. I would have just been okay with that. But the universe, God, whatever, just said, nope, you're getting a little bit more than that because, you know, you were patient.
Yeah.
And that's part of like manifestation, is just being patient. Just keep telling yourself it'll happen because everything is energy. Like, you see all your favorite influencers. Some of them are, you know, bland and boring. Some of them are really creative and upbeat. Or some of them you just think that they're unreachable. Like, there's some influencers that I grew up watching that are now followers of mine.
Yeah, and friends.
Yeah, and friends. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I remember watching when I was like 11. Like, on fucking YouTube. Like, what?
What, you been following me?
Yeah, like for example, like one thing that kind of shocked me is like, just to get quickly off the subject, is Katie Dawn. Love Katie Dawn, famous Instagram comedian.
Okay.
Famous Instagram comedian. She was on Vine. You might know her if I show you a clip, but she's been like popular for a long time. And then also, before me and Kayla Nicole were cool, you know, I watched her videos. And then one day I decided to just randomly DM her, and come to find out she DM'd me like 2 months ago.
Oh,
2 months before I even decided to DM her, she had already DM'd me. And I was just like,
what did it say?
Oh, basically, if I go back, this is when she first started getting popping. I was watching her, and I remember it said, Troyce, make a video. I'm bored. And then I replied like
So
2
she
months
watches
later.
you.
Yes, I replied like 2 months
Oh.
later being like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I was literally just about to show you love just now. Oh my God, that's so crazy. I didn't
Oh.
expect for you to DM me.
Yeah.
So that meant a lot to me. And that's why I say, just to get back on the subject, you just, everything is energy.
Everything
Like
is
even
energy.
your brand, like you just never know. Like one day you could be posting your podcast, just chilling, and then you never know. Like Beyonce could be watching this right
It's
now.
so true.
Not
It's
this
so
episode,
true.
obviously, but she could be watching like a different episode you did about mental health. And she could probably like reach out to someone part of her camp and be like, yo, I would love to give her backstage passes. I just want to meet this girl. Her podcast spoke to me recently. And like,
You just never know.
you never know. Like,
You never know. But obviously, like 95% maybe mindset and manifestation, but 5%, like you were saying before, the effort that you're putting in, the consistency. But what I always like to say, Destin, is that the effort and the consistency isn't going against the grain and hard work, tough. It's more so doing what you love, and just, yes, you're going to have challenging times doing what you love, but if you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work per se as much. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
I would say, yeah. I would say it's definitely, if you are passionate and something makes you happy, just lead with that. And everything
Exactly.
will follow suit.
Everything will follow suit.
Just be, just have passion.
Yes.
And be a good person, and everything will just fall into place for you.
And I love what you're saying about how much you believed. I always call it like Kanye level faith.
Yes.
Like he was so deluded that he will bring a camera crew with him while he was going into Rock Nation's offices when he wasn't even Kanye yet.
Wow.
But he was pre-recording it, knowing that in the future this is going to be a possible documentary, and now it is on Netflix. Like it's just that sort of faith. Like that's why like it's hard sometimes when you have people around you sometimes that tell you, yeah, but you're not making money, or try something else, or this is not working out. But you have to stay on course, and you have to just keep believing. At the end of the day, what's going to be the difference between you at B and you at A, where you want to be, is self-belief. Self-belief is like, it's like the magic formula. It's what's going to get you to where you want to get to. And I'm saying this to everyone watching this. That's why I always say at the end of my podcast, like, life is far too precious not to chase your dreams. Like, just go for it and just stay the course. You know, I'm so passionate about that.
Just focus. Like basically, they call it now, be delusional.
Yeah.
But just
Delulu.
dream big.
Dream big.
Just dream big.
Yeah.
And it'll happen, because everything's energy.
Everything.
Popularity, fame, endorsement deals, all eyes on you. Just, be ready for it.
Be ready for it.
Like, prepare yourself.
Ooh.
Like,
but the thing is, Destin, with me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to be famous. I'm doing this because I love to have conversations, like where there's a camera and there's lights and there's microphones and there's people that I can communicate with and get to know them. And that's what I love. It just happened that it just falls in the category of media and fame and broadcasting. But do you know what I mean? That's not exactly, I'm not going out for the fame. I'm doing this because I love it. It's just that it just happens that all eyes is going to be on us, you know?
And that's fair. Money and fame will be the result of what you do, not why you do it.
I love that.
And that's perfectly fine as well. You want to build a platform, you want to connect with people, you want to start necessary conversations, and you want it to be organic and natural and uplifting. That's what you want. And eventually, if all that with endorsements and fame comes with it, you're completely open to it.
Exactly.
Just be
It comes with the
prepared.
job.
Yeah,
when you say that, Destin, what do you mean by just be prepared?
Let's put it this way. Be prepared as in, like, everything comes with a price. We talked about that over the phone. Everything comes with a price. So you may be like, oh yeah, like for sure, like fame, popularity, sponsorships from Disney Channel, like that sounds amazing. But when you do get to that level and you do get these massive sponsorships and, Netflix hits you up and say they want to give you a deal, be prepared for them to say, hey, so you can't do a podcast talking about the controversy happening in the Congo right now.
Right.
With, our CEO, he's acquainted with, the higher up. So can you like not talk about that? And you'll be like in this awkward predicament where you're just like, uh-oh, you got to either keep your mouth shut
or lose
that endorsement deal. So it's just like kind of like situations like that where like the reason why a lot of celebrities are so quick to put out a note apology is because they're not always sorry. 95% of the times they're not sorry, but they're worried about their endorsement deals. Like they can't talk about certain things or say
like
certain
puppets.
things. Yeah, like puppets. And then there's the other side of it where when you start to build a big of a following in a platform, you kind of got to be ready for the snakes in the grass ready to strike against you. And when I say snakes in the grass, let me tell you something. One thing that somebody warned me about that I would have took seriously that I'm gonna warn you about is be ready for the woodwork people. The woodwork people meaning the people who are just like, oh, I always believed in you. Oh my God, I love you so much. And then out of nowhere, they're striking against you. And you may think these are just random strangers or people you went to school with, university with, or whatever. No. Sometimes these people can be your distant relatives from different...
Even your family.
Yeah, even your family. Or it might even become like, I don't even know, like maybe you're like university teacher from a couple years ago. You just never know. It could be someone who's like disguised, but that demon of like jealousy or that demon of just anger and like, why her? Why does it have to be her? Could just jump inside of them. So be ready for... Because, you know, we pray for success. We pray for amazing things, but we never pray with what comes with it.
What comes with it. And to be ready and prepared.
So if there could be a moment where anybody could switch up on you. Like, for example, let's say one of your, I don't know, your old, you know, primary school mates might reach out to you showing mad love, and then she just starts being really, really mean and nasty to you out of nowhere. So then you put her in her place and go off on her and call all types of bitches, but before you know it, she actually like probably recorded that entire phone call. Or she has screenshots and then she wants to like put it on a thread somewhere and be like, oh, look how mean she is. Y'all shouldn't support her podcast. So be prepared.
And the thing is, people are like, in the nicest way possible, but the majority of the population, okay, I don't want to be rude, but they follow that one thing that is said about you in the media. So if there's a negative depiction of you, everyone just runs with that and like cancel, and we have to get her out. And it's like, why are you like, stand on your own 2 feet and think about it, you know? But people don't do that. People just follow.
We're in this weird clickbaity society where people just see a clickbait headline and they automatically think that it's law. I think because for a while, a lot of clickbait headlines used to be somewhat accurate, like tell you, you know, what the story is, but now it's just meant to like rile you up. You go on Twitter now and it will literally say, for example, an anti-black supremacist or whatever attacks somebody at a store or whatever, and they'll put that on Twitter and they'll put that as a headline. Meanwhile, when you do further research, you'll find out, wait, that person actually spit on them and was robbing their store. And that person's just trying to protect their business. And that's just the world we live in, where people will believe a clickbaity headline. And before you know it, that person who's in the video has their whole entire reputation slandered because someone saw a headline.
Exactly. That's the power of the media, isn't it?
So be willing and ready to accept that. Because I've had people sometimes chop up videos of me and portray me to be a certain way. And I'm like, whatever, bitch.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do you know what? I need to gain how thick your skin is and how set strong your mind is. That's what I need to grow in, especially in this industry, Destin.
Yeah. So just be, I guess the best way to prepare for it is just know it's coming. It's coming. So look in the mirror, tell yourself, I'm never going to change. I'm always going to move with good intentions. I'll be fine. Things will work out and you'll be okay.
And you will be okay. That's the good thing.
As long as you know you're being genuine and moving with good intentions, and you'll be protected. Like all your ancestors, God, the universe, like you're protected.
Will protect you.
As long as you move with the right intentions. If you weren't being greedy or selfish and mean and trying to like be harmful to other people,
you'll be protected. I truly believe that. I truly believe that even though there are negative evil forces, I truly believe that there's also really good, whole, godly forces as well that working for you if you too are pure-hearted. And so for me, I used to be really fearful of what can come with fame and what can, you know, we hear all these stories and stuff like that, like Illuminati and all that jazz. I used to be so scared of it. But now, knowing my God and knowing like what he's taken me from and how he's shielded me in the past and protected me from so many things, I just know that there is a force that protects, there is a force that keeps you, you know? So yeah, I think all is well for us. All is well, as long as you've got pure intentions, like you said.
And things will work out wonderfully for you. And, you know, speaking of like the Illuminati and the dark forces, a lot of that stuff is real.
100%.
Like as you get towards the entertainment industry, you hear a lot of crazy stuff. Like I remember Will Vicky one time said that when she went to a party, it was a huge industry party. She said that as she was walking to the door, she walked through the first door. And once she got to the second door, somebody asked for her blood. Like everyone had to give a blood
Wow.
sample when they got to the second door. If they wanted to reach the next level to the party, they had to give some of their blood. That's weird
Wow.
for a party. And then there's other situations where I think we talked about this on the phone where like some people will compromise their sexuality just to get certain opportunities. Where, for example, like I knew there's one guy who, when I first moved to LA, he said that he kind of had like a Me Too experience.
Okay.
Where basically he was saying things along the lines of this, where basically he said that, so he's like pretty boy model trying to get into acting or whatever, and he told me that he came across like this. I always use the story as an example of like the shit that that you got to know to stay away from. He came across like a Hollywood executive, I guess you could say, right? And he was like, you know, being playfully flirtatious, being extra nice to this Hollywood executive because he knew this person was connected or whatever. So the Hollywood executive noticed that and knew that. So the Hollywood executive was entertaining him, being really nice to him, whatever, and he was being nice right back. So one day, this Hollywood executive said, hey, like, I know how to get you in this really, really big commercial. Like, I know how to get you in this commercial, you know, but first you gotta, you know, do something for me. Like, you should do something for me. And he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you should, you know, suck my... And he got on his knees and he sucked that man's just to get in a commercial. And guess what? He got ghosted. He got ghosted.
He didn't even get into the commercial.
No, blowing up the dude's phone, going off, saying what the fuck, all that stuff, and got ghosted.
Wow.
And got ghosted. And that guy, he kind of had it coming because you're a user. You're just being playfully flirtatious and trying to get what you can out of somebody, and you got played by a Hollywood executive. What that Hollywood executive did wasn't okay, but why would you sit up there and like be all flirtatious and compromise your sexuality and be willing to get on your knees and suck someone's blank just for an opportunity? That means you're more than willing to do it. Maybe you've done it numerous times. So
exactly, if you're so comfortable to,
maybe he's gotten opportunities before from doing that. So when I heard that, I remember just being like, oh God. And I'm not gonna lie, that guy who told me that story, I ended up having to ghost him too because he was kind of fucking crazy.
Right.
Because like I remember being like, wow, and I remember kind of being like, I mean, you entertained him. Like what he did wasn't okay. But if you feel like someone was willing to make you compromise your morals to get into a commercial, why even be cool with them?
Exactly.
Yeah, and
exactly that, and
it gets dark.
It gets dark. Oh,
yeah,
that's scary.
I can share it because it's so crazy. Because what's so crazy is that stuff is so common, right? The reason why Harvey Weinstein, I mean. The reason like the Harvey Weinsteins and the, what's that guy's name? Like Woody Allen and all these people that are out of nowhere being like exposed and there's all these conspiracy theories about them. The reason a lot of these alleged allegations have come about these people is because a lot of people in the industry allow these people to kind of like exist. Everyone knew that there was something in it for them. Like, hey, why would I open my mouth and say something? You know, there's something in it for me. You know, and then you see where a lot of these people who took the shortcut in the entertainment industry go. They get replaced by influencers.
Right.
They get upset when influencers come in and are doing well now because, you know, you created your own opportunities and you don't have to, you know, suck some peen to get a fucking big opportunity. You can just create your own little show and go viral on your own. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad that you're clued up. And you're helping me to get there, because sometimes I can live in like La La Land just thinking everything is roses and sunshine, but it's good to be clued up. And on the talk of Hollywood, you've met a Hollywood star.
Yes, I did. I met plenty.
Yeah, a lot. But the one that I was intrigued by that you told me about was the one and only Willow Smith.
Yes, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith's daughter. Whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah, that one.
Oh my God. I was telling her this interesting story about how... So I live in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, I highly recommend a lot of y'all visit it if you haven't, because you just never know. One minute you could be sitting at the bar and like as you're like taking a shot, you could be literally sitting next to fucking Victoria Monet. Like I was like drunk at a party and like Victoria Monet was like right across from me.
Really?
And she was the sweetest person ever.
She's gorgeous.
Her and her man, they're just beautiful. Like her man is really handsome and he's real protective over her.
Aww.
Like if anybody even like came to say, hey Victoria, he was like looking at them, like watching them, seeing if they had anything on them. Her man, really handsome, very protective of her, as he should be. And she's beautiful. She's very soft spoken, very chill, and I liked her. And then I've met a plethora of other entertainers before, and I've had mostly really good experiences. People are usually very chill, laid back, Or sometimes you see people and it's like, oh, that's so and so, but you just keep moving. But sometimes I might want to come up to them, and I had experience where I walked up to Willow Smith. I was at this really, really popular day party in LA, really amazing party, and it was a lot of industry people there. It was also a regular party. So out of nowhere, I'm chilling with my other homegirl who's a YouTuber, and I was just like literally standing around, people watching, and we saw Yara Shahidi. I'm like, oh my God, look at Yara Shahidi. Oh my God, look at so-and-so. And then out of nowhere, I saw Willow Smith. And she was like smoking a cigarette, drinking some liquor. She had some liquor in her cup, and she was just vibing to the music. And out of nowhere, she had walked right past me, and I was like, wait. I was like, wait, isn't that Willow Smith? And she's like, I don't think so. Like, what would she be doing here? I don't think so. I'm like, no, that's Willow Smith. I recognize those green eyes. Like, that's her. And then my friend was like, I don't know, go ask her. I said, yeah, wait, hold on. I went over there, and I went up to Willow Smith, and I said, hey, excuse me, I just wanted to tell you that you are so much more beautiful in person. And
How did she take that?
And she looked at me and she was like, oh my God, really? Is that supposed to make me feel good? And she like rolled her eyes and like she like sipped her cup and was like vibing to the music, and she turned away from me.
What?
Just vibing. And I was like, no. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean it like that. Like, I literally saw you and I saw your eyes and everything, and I meant that you're pretty, period. Like, you're pretty outside on social media, and I mean you're pretty in person. And she was like, oh, thank you. And she shook my head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was it.
Okay.
And then I was like, but can my friend get a picture? And then she's like, oh, yeah, sure. And then my friend snapped a quick picture of all three of us.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah, we still got it.
Okay.
My friend posted it. But I was like really shocked because she was mean to me at first, but it seemed like kind of came from a place of kind of like insecurity.
Yeah, and defensiveness.
Yeah, like she has her guard up. That's why like I was like, what? No, that's not what I meant at all. Like,
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not what I meant. I was like, what? Because she was like, because to see her like literally like look at me like, oh, that's supposed to make me feel good. And then she like turned away and like started like drinking her cup, had her shit in her hand. I'm just like, I was shocked. And I got like this weird like, I'm a spiritual person. I don't know how spiritual you are, but I got like this weird sensation of like kind of like anxiety. Like I felt like like something about her was like I felt like there was thorns like being thrown at me, like because it was like this weird rush of anxiety. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's energy. Some people can pick up on it.
Yeah, like I feel like her energy was attacking mine in a sense. I got this weird rush of anxiety. I'm like, what the fuck?
You got the rush of anxiety.
Yeah, I got this rush of anxiety,
I
and I don't get a lot of anxiety anymore. But I was just shocked. I'm like, why did I just get a rush of anxiety after she just did that and turned her body away?
Wow.
Like as if she had like a spirit protecting her and was like,
it
was weird. But I clarified and cleared it up with her, and then my friend like quickly snapped a quick picture of us, and I was like, oh. And after that, I told my friend, I was like, oh, she took a picture with us, and she seemed chill afterwards, but she wasn't very nice to me at first. My friend was like, really? I mean, y'all seemed like y'all were having an engaging conversation all the way over there, and I'm like, yeah, but like she was kind of rude. It came from a place of insecurity, but it also came from a place of her like just being kind of like mean, like a mean girl.
A mean girl.
But she was polite enough when I clarified and she shook my hand, but I just didn't really like what she did at first. And I remember just being like, you're Willow Smith. Like, like why, like, what could you really be insecure about? But it was at that moment when I was just like, wait.
You'll be surprised.
Just because she has millions of dollars to her name, a father like Will Smith, a mother like Jada Pinkett, you got to remember her parents. I mean, they got a lot of shit after the whole Chris Rock situation.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget her
and then
mom
the
entanglement.
August Alsina thing.
Yes. So imagine the kind of things people... And of course, she had no security with her.
As well.
She had no security with her. She was just... She was literally kicking it with Yara Shahidi. Yara went to do her own thing, and she was just by herself, just chilling. She was talking to nobody. She had like a regular trench coat on and like a regular... Like, she was just chilling. Like, and like, you wouldn't even notice her. She was like standing by the fence.
Right.
So... It was just like I think people probably come up to her and say the most craziest shit to where she probably felt like she had to have her guard up.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
Maybe it wasn't even like intentional to be rude to you. I think it's just more so what she's used to and how she just defends herself automatically.
Yeah. Because when your mother's Jada Pinkett and she's talking about entangled with her son's friend, and when your dad is slapping Chris Rock, and
it can be a lot.
Netflix is putting pauses on his work.
That, and it's broadcasted to the whole world.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And then she got famous you gotta remember, since she was born. and she became a mainstream star, a superstar, by the time she was 9.
Imagine that.
Can you imagine being 9 and reading comments about yourself? About people saying
Imagine.
that you're not cute enough and that you should dress like this and that you're too slutty and that you should do more of this.
It's going to mold you into the person that you are today.
At 9. I
At
cannot
9.
imagine that.
Yeah.
9 is fucking insane. So I understood, but I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So I just remembered, okay, don't take it personal. And she was like she did, like, after I clarified, she was like, okay, thank you. Like, she was like analyzing me, like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
It shows there
eyes.
probably is, like, obviously a wholesome person in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Destin, I was gonna say, let's because we're gonna wrap up really soon.
Okay.
What is your vision for the future? Where do you see Destin Troyce in 5 years' time, 10 years' time? What's your vision? What do you want out of life for yourself?
I'm, for now, going to put as much effort as I can into my brand, podcasting, YouTubing. I've only been in LA for about, this week it'll be 3 years since I've been in LA. So I've been in LA for 2 years and some change. It's going to be 3 years sometime this week. I just want to be as successful in this part so I can be as successful in other parts, such as being a book writer, being an author, a lot of things in the work involving that. And I also want to do things such as I want to build such a lucrative brand as an entertainer on the internet to where people reach out to me because they loved what I had to say about their project and they want to take me on as an executive producer. I want to do the work 100%. But I also want to be able to be an executive producer and be able to bring my creative ideas to light. Because I do, I am intertwined to pop culture. I do know what people like. Part of why I've been able to build such a loyal audience that's invested into pop culture and media is because I look at it from a perspective of what people want. I'm always reading comments. I'm always reading threads. I'm always reading news articles. And I know what the world wants. So screenwriting, more executive producer work. I really want to help. I really want to be on the level of what someone like Issa Rae is on, or someone like Jerry Springer.
That.
Someone like Jerry Springer, Issa Rae, or even someone like Ava DuVernay or something like that. I just want to be able to be a movement in the world. I want to be a force where I don't want to just be some guy on YouTube.
Right.
I want to be just this media imprint where no matter what, I can say that I contributed to how the world and the culture moves. Because there are some things that I don't like, and there are some things that I think can be done differently. So be prepared in the next 5 years to see more of me on your television screens. Be prepared to see me executive produced by Destin Troyce, Troyce TV. Just be prepared for that.
I love that.
So just manifesting.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah, and you've manifested up until this point. So
yes,
the world is your oyster.
A lot of what I have was manifested 10 years ago.
Exactly. So give it another 5 to 10 years. And I believe in you, Destin.
Thank you.
Like, you're great at communicating. You're entertaining as F.
Thank you.
Like, you've got the whole package. Like, it's just a matter of time.
Yes. So that's one thing I feel like everyone can learn from this is just that you got to be patient. Because patience can, drive you insane because you're just like, when, why is it happening for this person? Or why is it so easier for this person? They just thought, or all these people have connections, it's so easy. But, when you have less, you have to do more.
Oh, I love that.
So, it's not about what if it doesn't happen. You just got to be patient. Everything's energy, fame, popularity, brand deals, building a strong community. It's energy.
It's all energy.
If it's possible for this person, that person, it's definitely possible for you.
I love that.
Just wait. Wait your turn.
Wait your turn.
Wait your turn. Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. I love that. Well, Destin, I just want to thank you so much, genuinely, because you've obviously come from LA, not just for this.
Not just for this.
But in general, you've accepted to be on the Aridja Kals Show. You're a great guest. You've been a great guest. The stories that you've told, the way you've communicated, you've made my job so much easier, because sometimes it can be difficult getting things out of people. But you've been open, you've been honest, you've been helpful. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
And yes.
And I appreciate you for having me on the show. I appreciate for everyone that's tuning in, whether they're from you or from me. And I hope everyone pretty much got something from this and learned something from this. And even if you don't want to be in media or entertainment, you can apply some of the stuff that we talked about, rather be familiar wise, life wise, patience wise, and apply it to your own life.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Destin, could you look at this camera here and tell people where they can find you on social media, what you've got coming up, what there is to look out for, and things of that nature?
So you can find me at Troyce TV on all my social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, TROYCE TV. Or you could pretty much Google me. That's my first and last name, Destin, DESTIN, Troyce, TROYCE. And you can pretty much go down a rabbit hole and just find anything you want. I have a podcast called Time Out. It's available on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, and SoundCloud. So just feel free to check it out and just keep tabs of my journey. You never know. You might see me as an executive producer one day. You might see me on my own talk show one day. And you might even see me as a New York Times bestseller.
Woo-woo!
Manifesting. We got to speak into existence.
Yes, I love that. Affirmations and words.
Yes.
Okay, it's Destin, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another episode of the Aridja Kals Show, where we speak to ordinary people with extraordinary lives. Make sure you catch this podcast and all my previous and future podcasts on Spotify also. And yeah, I hope that you've had a great listening and it's been helpful and valuable. And remember to always chase your dreams, because life is far too precious not to. And I've been your girl Aridja. This has been the wonderful Destin, all the way from LA. And yeah, we'll see you guys in another episode of the Aridja Kals Show. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. It was good.
It went by pretty fast.
Oh my God, I was looking up because I literally have to be out here in 5 to 15 minutes to pack up and stuff. But I was looking at the time, I was like, where's the time going? I wanted to continue and talk about more things, especially like life in LA. I really wanted to, but time is not on our side right now. But
we can have part 2 one day.
100%. I'm on that.